r/ask Reddit. What is one thing from your profession that everyone should know? Mortician. When you get cremated, we don't just open the retort and sweep a pile of ashes into the urn. When we cremate someone, the body is actually reduced to bones. The bones are then put into a grinder. The ashes you get are not really ashes, they're ground up bones. Also, when we put the remains in an urn, we place them inside a thick plastic bag with a zip twist tie and an identification tag. All those movies where people knock over urns and cremains go everywhere doesn't happen. Drives me insane. Get out of the way. Paramedic. As a firefighter, I love the Izzy blaring the horn at me. Do I need to pull over? Lights and sirens mean move it, people. I work in IT support. Most of the things you ask, I don't know. I use Google. Corollary. Most people don't really understand how to use Google to fix IT related problems and think you are some sort of genius for being able to wrangle useful information out of it. Moral. If you search for printer doesn't work, you're gonna have a bad time. Lawyer. I do not consent to a search. Memorize this. Soldier here. Those with the most war stories probably didn't do much. Those who don't speak of it probably have seen some shit. This was definitely my experience with my ex. He would tell anyone who would listen of the horrors he had witnessed in Iraq. He even once told me a very graphic and heartbreaking story about a little girl he had rescued from a damaged building who was so badly burned that she just slipped around in his arms like a bar of soap. Months later, he introduced me to his favorite TV show, Rescue Me, about FDNY firefighters. I guess he forgot that story about the little girl was taken word for word from the main character's experience. Wildlife rehabber. It's totally okay to touch a baby bird to put him back in his nest. Birds don't really have a sense of smell, so the parents will absolutely not reject him, even if he has your scent on him. On the other hand, leave baby rabbits alone even if the mama isn't around. Chances are she just didn't do a very good job of hiding them and will be back later. Taking baby rabbits to a vet or rehab is often a death sentence, as they don't always thrive even with the best of care. Thrift store employee. We legitimately just make up prices. So if you think the price is too high, ask us to change it. You are 100% more likely to get a deal by asking for one than you are by taking the tag off and asking us how much it costs. When you take the tag off, we're likely to charge you more than you would have paid in the first place, just because you've added extra work for us and we're aggravated and we hate you now. I work as a contractor for the government. There is a lot of classified information on the internet, specifically Wikipedia, that isn't taken down, because then people would know that it's classified. Would love an example. Embryologist. Your chance of achieving pregnancy after the age of 42 without the use of donor eggs is almost non-existent. The answer to life. IT all makes sense now. Professor. We inflate grades dramatically because higher education has been turned into a business and we are pressured to keep the customers, students, happy, especially since 70% of us are part-time. Fire at will. Employees. Scientist. We don't actually know what we're doing, either. Archaeology. I do not dig up dinosaurs. I wanted to say, anthropology. No, I don't dig up bones. See. Graphic designer. Use spell check, and for God's sake also use spell check. And you'll hate the just use the enhance button joke. Computer programmer. We are in the pre-industrial era of software development, and even the best of us aren't very good at it. Think about it. Mechanical engineering is hundreds of years old. Architecture is older. Software starts at roughly 1950. We have a long way to go. When a new bridge, building or airplane is designed, everybody knows it will almost certainly work correctly. Major software projects frequently crash and burn and are abandoned. Those that succeed are filled with bugs. Software is not a rigorous engineering discipline. And yes, I have been programming since 1972 and I know a bit about software. Pizza guy. Please put on some damn pants when you come to the door. Grocery store clerk. Please be patient. I see 200 plus people a day. I have to scan over 300 coupons, sometimes up to 1000. Our store has over 2000 items, at least 300 in produce alone. I can't remember all the clue codes. I can't know off the top of my head if your coupon is going to work. I am not a magician and I can only do things so fast. I feel like people don't realize just how stressful being a cashier is. I worked at a Sam's Club, and on a bad day I saw about $10,000 go through my register on a 6-ish hour shift, minus lunch. It could be over $20,000 on a busy day with high priced items. Then, after all that, I need to be missing less than $5 over a month. It's stressful. Retail manager and former waitress. When you are rude to customer service workers, almost every time, any customers who overhear will call you an ass as soon as you leave. All you do is humiliate yourself. Also, threatening to never come back to this establishment again is a blessing. At that point, you're more of a hassle to the employees than a boost to business. As a teacher, most of us want to see you succeed in class, even if it's only to make ourselves look better. If you really want to work with us, set some time aside and we'll return the favor. Also, no smartass kid is worth being fired. Teachers aren't out to get you. Tell that to my 16-year-old brother who routinely fails classes because the teachers hate him. He has a passion for that conspiracy equatable to the anti-immunization lunacy. Pawn shop employee. No, we don't have Battletoads. Social worker. Don't judge people based on appearance. Yes, there are people with mental illnesses and addictions who can be very difficult to deal with, but that doesn't mean all of them are difficult. Some of them are really pleasant people to be around. Also, just because someone lives at a shelter or in low-income housing doesn't automatically mean they abuse alcohol or drugs. Maybe they are just going through a rough patch or were placed in a shitty situation in life. Service desk. If they tell you to do something, do it. If they ask you to read out the error message, do not paraphrase it. Especially don't lie or exaggerate it to get better or faster help. It makes it far more embarrassing when you get caught, which you will, because you have no idea what you're talking about. Replace your roof before fixing the interior. If you see a leak starting in a drywall ceiling, poke a small hole in it. The water will drain instead of spreading and causing more damage. Pro tip: tie a piece of string or twine around a nail or screw and push it into the drywall seam where the leak is to create a hole, and angle the other end of the string down into the bucket. This lets you collect multiple leaks with one bucket, and you won't have to hear drip, drip, drip all night, as the water will travel down the string and into the bucket even at an angle. Horse trainer. A horse is not like a dog. One bad mistake can kill you. That's because a horse is the weight of a sizable car. Janitor. The antibacterial solution you get in the stores will not kill all bloodborne pathogens. You need to bleach the duck out of whatever it touched. Cosmetology. You know that really fun pink and purple hair that model had in that magazine? If that wasn't a wig or extension, it faded to an awful salmon color in about 2 weeks. Those colors are, relatively, huge pigment molecules and don't stay in the hair very long. Photographer. No, I will not shoot your wedding for free just because we used to be acquaintances in college. First off, I have to afford to eat too. Second, if we were really friends, you'd know I work in advertising and don't know the first thing about weddings. There are different kinds of photographers in the industry that all have their own specialty. The only thing we all have in common is that if we're good, we never do it for free, with the exception of family. Computer repair. We aren't trying to be condescending. Restarting your computer really does fix 90% of problems. Nobody seems to do it without being asked. That's probably because you don't hear from the people who restarted without having to be asked and fixed the problem. Wetland scientist. If you smell farts, it's a wetland. As a former research assistant, just because we use animal models in our experiments does not mean they are tortured until they die. We euthanize them at the end of the experiment. There are many protocols that we as scientists must adhere to. Perhaps you are thinking of makeup testing on animals. Aerospace engineer. If I decide to get off a plane, you should too. Firefighter here. Have working smoke alarms. Such a cheap and effective warning device. I can't understand why people don't have them. Take the batteries out. Edit. Yes, I understand that false alarms are annoying. Retail manager in college. If we had the staff to open more registers, we would open more registers. We gain nothing by making you wait in long lines. In fact, our lives are much easier if we get you in and out quickly. Chemist. Always add acid to water, not water to acid, especially strong acids, and base is equivalently as dangerous as acid, but feels like soap so you don't notice it. Retail warehouse. Not all wooden pallets are light. If it's blue or red, it's going to be heavy. Use both hands and lift with your legs. Classical and jazz musician here. Please turn your phone off. Concert halls are built so that sound travels really well, and it disrupts every person in the audience and most times, everybody on stage. Also, please don't look at your phone for anything less than an emergency. Your entire face lights up, and everybody on stage sees you and only you. It's extremely aggravating and extremely distracting. We realize you may not love our music, but we've put a lot of time and effort into it, and would all really appreciate it if you respected that. Kinesiologist. Exercise really is medicine. It will help prevent most things and will make life more enjoyable. Wine writer. In order to be called champagne, 100% of the grapes have to be grown in the Champagne region of France. Otherwise, it's called sparkling wine. Champagne starts at $35 per bottle and climbs quickly into the $50 to $100 range. Bottles that says California champagne are lying to you. But the companies have enough money to fight the lawsuits from France. Stop buying Corbel, Barefoot, or Andre. For the same price or $1 to $2 more, you could buy a Spanish Cava or Italian Prosecco that is real wine, not mass produced. Think McDonald's versus In-N-Out, and tastes 100x better. If you want to splurge, a $30 sparkling wine is often better than any $50 champagne. It just doesn't have the fancy name. Hi. Farmer here. We're not, nor can we afford to be stupid rednecks hillbillies. We run big businesses. We need to be capable and up to date with the latest technology, varieties, chemicals, animal husbandry and research. We manage our own finance and must have our fingers on the pulse of world markets, trends and politics. Please don't treat me like I'm an idiot when I tell you what I do. Show farmers some respect because we feed you. University teaching assistant. We are here to help you, but remember that we are students, too, and have our own life and homework. Any grad student knows there's lots of it. There are 150 of you in this class. I can't get your paper done the day after you turn it in, and I can't respond to your frantic messages at 3 in the morning when the paper is due in 5 hours. I'm breaking the one rule here. A kind word and a thanks can go a long way for both of us. It's good if we like you. PC repair. If I ask you if you did something inside your computer, please just tell me. Don't be embarrassed to admit you were poking around inside the case and might have messed something up. We've all done it at some point, even the professionals. All you do by insisting you didn't do anything wrong is make my job take longer and the bill much larger. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.